Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another episode of Kast, the one show where I keep you guys up to date with what's been going down, whether it be in the channel or in my personal life. And today we got a couple of things to talk about. I'm going to give you guys the rundown of the topics, and then we're going to be going in depth into some of these. So first I want to talk with you guys about my trip to Blizzcon. Then I wanted to tell you guys about what's the deal behind the new glasses here. I want to talk a little bit about VR. As well as, of course, one of the biggest news of recent date, which is the Nintendo Switch. And I also want to talk about Dark Souls 3 DLC. And for all those of you that watch my live streams, I would really, really appreciate it if you would either watch until the end, or if you can't watch until the end, just skip to the end portion, because I wanted to ask you guys for some feedback regarding Twitch, mostly. That is going to be most of the content for today. I also wanted to bring up the whole microphone thing, because I did a couple of live streams this past week or so where I used a different microphone. I want to tell you guys about that a little bit and what that is about. But like I said, let's get things started straight up. Trip to BlizzCon. So for those of you that don't know, I'm going to be attending BlizzCon this year. It is going to be the second time that I go to BlizzCon. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm not entirely sure that I'm attending BlizzCon. That's the funny part. I'm definitely going to America because the trip's already booked. And I'm going to Anaheim. And I'm going to hang out with my Squadron friends. But I still don't have my media badge. So that's interesting. Although I'm in contact with Blizzard. They haven't let me down yet. So hopefully this is not going to be the first time. But I have been told that it's being taken care of, so it's weird because everybody in my group already has their media badge, and I don't, so that's going to be kind of awkward. But I'm going to be heading out to BlizzCon, going to be hanging out with Pally Time, Hengist, Average Adam. Warak is coming with me. Hopefully most of you guys know Warak by now. He's actually on a train right now. He's headed over to my house. We're staying over here, and then we're going to take our large trip from Portugal all the way to Anaheim, which, let me tell you guys, that's almost like 20 hours between airplanes. Actually, it's probably more than 20 hours between airplanes and airports and layovers and all this other bullshit. Let's just say we're going to be flying for a pretty long time indeed. One of the flights is like 11 hours or some shit, and we have some really bad seats. Like, I'm just like, oh, why? But yeah, usually I used to like book the seats 72 hours in advance, and it would give me a lot of options. This time, 72 hours in advance, they're just like, no, you get these two seats and you get these two seats, and fuck you. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll take these two seats then. Thank you very much. Take these two seats and a finger up my ass. Wait, no, I'm just taking that to way too much to the next level. But anyway, I'm gonna be heading out there, and whether or not I go to BlizzCon doesn't really matter, because if I don't get to go inside BlizzCon, I'm still gonna hang out with my friends and all that stuff. So it's whatever. But I'm going to be away for it's almost a week. I'm gonna come back like Tuesday next week. And considering that it's Tuesday now, right? It's Tuesday, 1st of November, Tuesday. Considering that it's Tuesday now, it's pretty much a week, because I'm leaving tonight, or let's say it's like tomorrow at the butt crack of dawn tomorrow. So it's almost like I'm leaving today for all intents and purposes. And I wanted to do some streaming today, but stuff has gotten terribly complicated, and I wasn't able to do a stream today. But I still wanted to leave you guys with Cast so that you know what is going on. Now, while I'm there, I'm going to be trying to do the whole thing that I did with the streaming that I did. If you guys remember when we went to the Epic headquarters and Gamescom and all that stuff, I did a couple of live streams. I'm going to try and do some of that. I'm going to see if that's possible or not. It also depends on the internet that we have on site, because obviously, you know, depending on the quality of that internet, it's going to mean that I'm either going to be able to do more or less live streams. And also, you got to remember yourselves that I'm also there, and I'm also supposedly going to be doing stuff for Squadron, going to be doing stuff for TGN, just like tons and tons of work while I'm out there, as well as tons and tons of hanging out with my friends. So I don't know exactly what my availability is going to be able to stream to my own personal channel, but I'll try. I promise you guys, I'll try my damnedest. But for now, I just don't know. So for the next week, I don't know what's going to happen. We'll have to play that by ear and figure it out. But yeah, that's the trip to BlizzCon that is happening. Like I said, leaving pretty soon. And if you guys are hanging out there, if you guys are going to BlizzCon and whatnot, I mean, I would say tweet me, but it'll probably be easier if you tweet Kai Berries, because she is probably going to have internet and she's always like on all the socials and all that stuff. So I'm not going to have easy internet access while I'm out in the States, because I've actually talked with my cell phone provider, and I was asking them, okay, so what can I get, like some kind of data plan when I go onto the States so that I can actually use internet while I'm out there? And their data plan is like, oh yeah, you get like 20 megabytes a day. And I was like, I'm sorry, what was that? 20 megabytes. That's like checking the fucking headers on my emails, and that's done. So yeah, and then it's like they don't actually have a data plan for when I'm out in the US. It's just like, look, just fucking deal with it. You're gonna pay out the nose and you're gonna deal with it. And I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna pay out the nose, because I'm not gonna use data roaming services while I'm out there, because it's just retardedly expensive. It's not even ridiculously expensive. It's retardedly expensive. Like, nobody should ever have to pay that much for usage of data anywhere. But anyway, regardless of all that, like I was saying, if you guys are going out there, look up Kai Berries' Twitter and, tweet at her if you want to meet up with me or whatever. I'm probably going to be hanging out with her most of the time anyway. So that way she can like check her Twitter and she'll be like, okay, Rui, this person wants to meet you, whatever. Hopefully she doesn't mind doing that. Maybe I'm saying this and then Kai Berries is like, Rurikhan, why do I have to deal with all this bullshit from you? Who knows? But anyways, that is probably going to be the best way to get a hold of me while I'm out there. So yeah, there's that. The other thing is, so let's just shelf the BlizzCon discussion for now. Like I said, gonna be there. Hopefully, you guys will show up too. The whole squadron is gonna be there, or at least most of us. Not the whole squadron, but a lot of squadron is going to be there, because like there's a lot of people that can't attend. The other thing I want to talk about is these new glasses. A lot of people have even started asking. I've even seen a couple of comments in my comment section like, did Rurikhan always use glasses? And it's like, yes, I did. I've always used glasses. Let me actually show you guys. I have my glasses right here. So these were the glasses that I was wearing before. They're very subtle. So I don't blame you if at some point you were just watching me on the tiny ass face cam and you're just like, dude, Rurikhan doesn't wear glasses. And if you guys actually look at this, you can see that these glasses are like chipped. They're chipped on one of the edges, and this was one of the reasons why I had to trade them. The other reason is because I lost a whole bunch of sight on my left eye. I don't know why. Doctors say it might be stress, might be too much working on my computer, might be the fact that I don't sleep. I sleep, but very little. Let's put it like that. Very little sleep. As a matter of fact, they even told me that I was the only person they've ever heard complain that my eyes are dry in the morning, because usually most people get like dry eye during the day. My eyes are like full dry during the morning, which is very weird because theoretically speaking, according to what they were saying, it's like your eyes are supposed to like replenish their tear ducts and all that stuff and the lubrication of your eyeballs throughout the night. And it seems that wasn't happening for me, and that might be the reason why I lost a whole bunch of eyesight on my left eye. So I had to upgrade my prescription, and I figured, you know what? The first time that I got glasses, though, those small glasses that I showed you guys, I was fighting the idea of me having to use glasses. I was like, fuck, I'm going to have to use glasses? God damn it, I hate glasses. So I was like, I'm going to get the most subtle glasses you can possibly get so that people can barely notice the difference. Whereas now it's like most people already know that I wear glasses, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just like not give a fuck. I'm going to go for what's comfortable and what looks cool. And I thought that these particular frames looked cool. Some people said I looked cool in them. My wife hates them, but that's fine. It's whatever. These are actually frames from sunglasses too, which it's cool. She showed me a bunch of like default frames where you put your actual lenses for seeing properly. And I was just like, I don't like any of these. They all kind of suck. So I went for the sunglass frames, and this kind of stood out to me. So that's what I ended up getting. But yeah, my not sleeping coupled with the fact that I'm spend too much time on my computer is damaging my eyesight a little bit. And I'm actually using these artificial tears now, so that like I can lubricate my eyes a little bit better and whatnot, and hopefully that will fix it. I'm still getting adjusted to the new prescription, which is being actually pretty hard. Because I've used the same prescription for glasses for like over a decade, and so I actually had to go to like two different doctors and get opinions because like I was just like struggling to adapt. I'm still struggling to adapt, but both doctors came out with the same prescription. They were like, "This is your prescription, dude. This is what you got to deal with. So just gonna have to hang in there." So yeah, struggling a little bit, but that's the story behind the glasses. In case you guys were wondering, it's not just because of style. I actually needed new glasses, and I just figured I'd change things around. I like changing things. Probably when I come back from Blizzcon, I'm gonna like trim my beard a whole bunch, because why the hell not? I'm probably going to get rid of my ponytail when I get back too, because like I just like changing styles constantly. So it's whatever. We'll see what happens, but yeah, that's the story behind the new glasses. Now, switch topic, talk about VR. So a lot of you guys have noticed that I've done a lot of VR stuff. That's because I purchased a PlayStation VR, which I said from the start was the one that I wanted to buy. I like it. I'm quite happy with it, but due to the fact that I've been suffering from problems in my eyes, I kind of had to take a break from that thing because otherwise things were going to get real messy. I mean, I don't know if it was going to get real messy or not, but it's just like it doesn't feel right. If you're having problems with your eyes, you probably shouldn't be fucking around with VR. So I kind of took a break from that. But the only reason I wanted to bring up VR is because some people were asking me if I think VR is the future. What are my opinions on VR? And it's like I look at VR the same way that I look at, say, a console system. I don't think it's the future. It's just a different way to game. Like look at it same way that you would look, for instance, to a Wii. Now that's maybe not the best example because a lot of people think the Wii is shit. I don't agree with that. But it's like it's not the future. It's just a different way to play video games. In my opinion, that's what I think about VR. I don't really think that VR is ever going to be that. I mean, the current VR that we have, 10 years from now, maybe when, putting on a VR headset is just like putting on a pair of glasses. When we get to that point, then I think VR can definitely be the future. But right now, it's still way too young. It's way too young in terms of a technology for us to decidedly say, yeah, VR is the future. I don't think it's the future. I just think it's a different way to play video games. As a matter of fact, I think that the headset that I bought, the PlayStation VR, is hands down the most consumer-friendly headset. And even that, I have to say, is probably way too complex for a regular user to just set up. Just to get the damn thing set up and running, it's probably going to be too complex for most people. And I'm not saying like I'm some kind of a smart guy or whatever. I'm just saying that like I kind of know this market and I know the kind of stupid shit that people tend to do. So I'm just saying the way that I set this up and I was looking at it while I was setting it up, I was like, there's so many people that are gonna fuck this up 6 ways from Sunday. It's not even funny. So this thing is not. It's not there yet. Like it's a lot of fun and it's hands down from all the stuff that I've tried out the best VR experience yet because it actually has games on it and not just like, hey, let's put this game from fucking 5 years ago and let's make it VR. It's not like that. I mean, sure, you got Res Infinite, which when was Res Infinite from? But it's like Res Infinite is actually really cool VR experience. So anyway, what I'm saying is that if you think you're into VR, and it's like if you're asking me, okay, I'm definitely going to get a VR device. Which one should I get? I would still say the PSVR. But if you're asking me, like, is this the time to get into VR? And I would say if you're not an enthusiast, no, it's not there yet. The technology is just not there. And following right up on the heels of VR, we had an announcement recently about the Nintendo Switch, and I've seen a lot of people trash talking it. As a matter of fact, I called it when I was talking with Hengist. We were talking about Switch because we're both pretty excited about the Switch. And I called it when I said, dude, you know how many people are going to be looking at the trailer footage and they're going to be commenting on the frame rate, even though That is clearly not the frame rate that thing's going to run on the console. And lo and behold, massive people talking about, look at those frame drops. It's like, do you guys not understand that all of that shit in that specific trailer is basically a green screen? It's a green screen and they're superimposing footage on top of it. That's what they're doing. In case you guys haven't wrapped your heads around it, whenever you're filming a screen, if the screen looks real good, like if you see footage of someone that is filming a screen, like either in a movie or in a commercial or whatever, you see footage of a screen from a camera and that screen looks real good, it's probably been done in post. It's not actually them filming someone playing the console. That's not happening, you guys. So all of that stuff, all of those frames that you've seen, all of those things that you might think, they're like, oh yeah, they're already running this game on nothing. Just forget about it. Nothing is real. It's all post-processing. It's all done in post. Unless they have a really good camera, like a ridiculously good camera that was able to capture footage that good. But I'm sorry. I've pointed multiple cameras at televisions, and it doesn't matter how you do it, the result is always garbage. There's always a bunch of glare. Particularly because of the lighting. Like, you look at the lighting on some of those things in the trailer, and it's just like, guys, trust me, it's impossible. There's no way this stuff would look that good. And on top of it, you can't really take the frame rate into consideration because, like I said, it's done in post. Either way, the one thing that I want to talk about the Switch is that if you want to talk to me about what is the future, I think the Switch is a lot closer to what the future is than VR. You guys are like, what? That thing looks like garbage. That thing is this, that, and the other, and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, guys. You know how many people walk around with a tablet now? Right? Not to mention that it's like, I understand a lot of people want to have that home experience, that home console experience. I want that too. I definitely want that. That is one of the things that I feel is really missing on my 3DS. It's one of the reasons why I don't play 3DS or Monster Hunter as much when I'm at home, because I want to play on the big screen. So the Switch, I feel, is kind of like the best of both worlds, because you get the portability. So like, for instance, right now I'm going to BlizzCon. I'd love to be able to take my Switch and take a bunch of games with me and just be as easy as just like picking the damn thing up and taking it away. No fucking save file transfer. No complicated like fucking, oh yeah, need to download this game, need to get this lot. Just fucking pick up the console and go. See, that is one of the things that I love about it. Just being able to take it with me. Take it to my friend's house instead of having to take, like right now I take my PS4 to a friend's house, right? Like, because it's convenient. And I know that a lot of you guys go, PC Master Race. And I'm like, yeah, take your goddamn PC tower. Like my fucking Rathalos rig that weighs a fucking ton. Take that over to your friend's house every goddamn weekend. Good fucking luck with that. Enjoy it. It's like, it is not fun times. Taking your computer, your monitor, your keyboard, your mouse, taking all that shit to a friend's house and doing it every week. It is not fun times. That's why we take our PS4s and we play most of our stuff on the PS4. It's just more convenient. He has like 2 screens on there. All I have to do is take my PS4, my controller, boom, done. But taking a computer, it's insane. And taking a Switch, that'd be the ideal scenario. Just fucking take the damn thing, boom, take it over there, and we play like ad hoc, just like you do with a 3DS right now. So that's one of the things I like about the Switch. It's portability and the fact that you can also play it on the big screen. Like, I've seen the announcement of Monster Hunter Double Cross in Japan, which is basically Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, which, if you guys don't know what that's about, I'm not going to go too deep into it. Just look up all of the release versions of Monster Hunter that release in Japan, and you'll notice that it's usually Monster Hunter something, and then Monster Hunter something Ultimate. Then Monster Hunter something, and Monster Hunter something. Actually, in Japan, it's not Ultimate. It's the G version. So, like, it's Monster Hunter 4, and then it's Monster Hunter 4G. So I'm not surprised that this is the first time it's happened in the West, which is we get Monster Hunter Generations. Now we're going to get Monster Hunter. I don't know what they're going to call it in the West, but we're going to get that Double Cross here. And it's going to come out for the 3DS, hands down. Now, the question is it also going to come out for the Switch? Because goddamn it, if you put a Monster Hunter game on the Switch and I play that thing on the big screen, oh, baby. I need it. And that friggin' Zelda game, goddamn Breath of the Wild, I've played it on the Wii U, and that game is beautiful. And I can't wait to play that damn game too. So that is going to be awesome. But the other thing that really got me excited about the Switch is when you go and you look up their partners list, which are people who have committed to actually developing software for that console. You notice that From Software is on there. And I'm just thinking, okay, so From Software is on there. Wouldn't it be amazing if you would get a Dark Souls trilogy? Now, I know that some of you guys are going to say, oh, yeah, and Bloodborne and Demon Souls. It's like, guys, Bloodborne and Demon Souls most likely not going to happen because those are like attached to Sony and all that stuff. I don't think From Software can just put that on another platform. However, a Dark Souls trilogy, Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. And I know that a lot of you guys are going to say, but Dark Souls 2, and it's like, don't fucking play it. Play 1 and 3. 3 is good, in my opinion. And 1 is the best. The best in the Souls series ever, in my personal. I just love Dark Souls. And if that actually happens, you realize that that is actually the first fully portable iteration of Dark Souls. All right? I think I'm saying that right. Because, like, you can play it on the PC. I mean, you can also play it on a laptop, I guess. But I don't think that's too ideal. I'm talking about actually playing it on a handheld. That'd be the first version of Dark Souls on handheld. Having a whole trilogy that you could just take with you, I think that'd be amazing. Now, if you on top of that would add, like, say, multiplayer through ad hoc, dude, imagine just getting together with your friends and actually each of you having, like, your own fucking Dark Souls and your summon signs just appear because you're close to each other. Wouldn't that be the fucking bomb? Are you kidding me? That'd be amazing. But I don't know. Maybe I'm dreaming too much. And obviously, I also want whatever Miyazaki's working on next to show up on the Nintendo Switch. Well, because you guys know that Miyazaki's got something up his sleeve. I've heard that he's working on some Armored Core. He's bringing, like, some Souls elements on there and whatnot. I'm excited. I want to see what that's about. Because I'm happy that he's working on something else other than Dark Souls. Even though, yes, I would like to see Dark Souls on the Switch because it'd be really cool to just have the whole in one console. I think that'd be amazing. But who the hell knows if that is going to be a possibility or not. So, yeah, personally, I'm excited for the Switch. I know that there's a lot of naysayers out there, but I want to see what happens with it. Hey, I could be completely wrong. Thing could come out, could be a whole pile of garbage. Nobody cares about it. But I'm excited for the potential. I'm excited for the concept. Now, I know that some people are going to start talking about the teraflops and how much more powerful something is than the other. If you want to talk about that, let me tell you the story of the PlayStation 3 and how it was probably one of the most powerful consoles we've ever seen for its time. I mean, we're talking about how people fucking networked 100 of these bitches and put them to do calculations for NASA and shit. Because it was one of the most cost-effective ways because the cell processor was a goddamn beast. And guess what? It was not that successful for most of its generation. Xbox 360 still beat the shit out of it because it was easy to develop for it. So ultimately, what's really going to matter, I think, is not going to be how many teraflops of processing you can have on it and how beautiful the graphics can be, and all this other bullshit. What's going to matter is, are developers actually going to make software for the platform? Because you look, for instance, at the Wii U. And I know that a lot of you guys are going to say, oh my God, the Wii U is the worst console ever, yada, yada, yada. They're stopping production this week, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, guys, have you seen how many games are running 1080p 60 FPS and look gorgeous on the Wii U? Are you kidding me? Dude, just look at it. Actually, I think I was about to say Bayonetta 2, but isn't Bayonetta 2 being stretched from some other resolution? I don't remember. But like, you look at the friggin' Mario 3D World. Is it 3D World? I don't know. You look at that. Look at Mario Brothers. You look at a lot of the games that came out for that console. They just look gorgeous. Like, you look, what was the name of that game? Xenoblade Chronicles X. That's one of the most beautiful looking games I've ever played on a console. And I know that one is stretched. That one is definitely not native 1080p. And it is not running at 60 FPS. But the art style in that game is beautiful. And it makes that game. That game's amazing. There's like, if you can bring experiences like that to the Switch, you're goddamn right it's going to be a really good console. But who the hell knows? We're going to have to wait and see. Me personally, I'm buying one day one so that I can tell you guys about it and you don't have to wait to find out whether or not it is going to be worth your time. I will be reporting on it day one. I already contacted my PR guy from Nintendo, and I told him, listen, dude, I need to buy one of these as soon as they're available. I want to check it out. I'm excited. I want to see what it's about. I want to tell everybody about it. So that's what I think about the Switch, if you guys were curious. And yeah, next up, I want to talk about Dark Souls 3 DLC. Played through it. It's on the channel. A lot of people are actually still asking me on some of the live streams that I've made, has Rurikhan played through the DLC? And it's like, yes, I have. I've completed it. I actually got stuck on one of the bosses. I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys. I'm just going to say I got stuck on one of the bosses. You guys probably know which boss I'm talking about. And I had to take a break because I live streamed like 20 hours of Dark Souls to create a character all the way to the point to get to the DLC in one day. And when I got to that boss, I was just like, I was worn out. And then the next day I started working on the boss and I got him down like prize or something like that. Ridiculous. But I thought it was really fun. And I think that a lot of the people who are like, this DLC is so easy. It's like these people that are running fucking 120 soul level builds with maxed out, overpowered weapons and all this shit. Whereas I was just running, what was the weapons I was running? I was running the Drang twin spears. That was cool. And then I started using the actual weapons that were on the DLC. Like, actually, I shouldn't spoil it. They're on DLC because I know that some of you guys are like super anal about that shit. But yeah, I used some of the weapons on DLC. They were. I really liked the DLC. I thought it was great. There's an enemy in the DLC, which if you guys have seen the stream, you guys know there's an enemy that legitimately just fucking messes with my head. Like whenever I hear that enemy, I'm like, fuck. It's not even a tough enemy or anything. It's just like the way that they designed it and the sounds that that damn thing makes. It brings chills up my spine, which is amazing because I never thought I'd feel that way about a Souls game again. But yeah, they did it again on that one. God damn. Every time I had to fight those damn things. So yeah, whether or not you guys, if you guys were thinking whether or not it was worth it, I think it's worth it. It's got a decent chunk of content. I would say it's equivalent to the amount of content you have, say on a Dark Souls 2 DLC, I want to say, which those still had a reasonable amount of content, in my opinion. Some were some bigger than others. I don't know. I guess some of them loop back around and all this stuff. But it doesn't have any of the, what was it called? Frozen Outskirts. You guys remember I told you, Frigid Outskirts? You guys remember I told you guys, man, if this is like the Frigid Outskirts, I'm going to just like fucking stop, drop, and leave. And it was nothing like that. It was actually satisfying to play through. I enjoyed it a great deal. So that's my opinion on the DLC. You guys can take that with a grain of salt. Whether or not you guys are going to like it also depends on whether or not you guys like Dark Souls 3, because I like Dark Souls 3. I don't think it's the best Dark Souls, hands down. I've done my list. I've told you guys I like Dark Souls 1, and then Bloodborne, and then Dark Souls 3, and then Demon Souls, and Dark Souls. That is the order in which I like the Souls series. And this DLC hasn't changed that. I still like Dark Souls 1 more than everything else. But it doesn't mean that it's not good DLC. It's still new content. It's still fun. So I liked it quite a bit. There's new gear. There's bosses. There's new mobs. There's a crap ton of lore for you to discuss and figure out and whatnot, which is exactly what you usually want out of one of those DLCs. So I enjoyed it. Whether or not you will enjoy it depends on how much you enjoyed Dark Souls 3. If you did enjoy it, most likely you'll enjoy the DLC as well. If not, maybe you won't. Anyway, that's Dark Souls 3 DLC stuff. The other thing that I want to tell you guys about was Twitch. So recently I did a couple of live streams on Twitch. More specifically, a couple of Paragon. And the reason I did it is because I'm one of the whitelisted streamers for Paragon, which means if you actually go into if you link your Twitch accounts for Paragon, if you link your Paragon account with your Twitch account, you can actually, if you go onto my chat or anyone else who's a whitelisted streamer, if you go onto their chats, you have a chance to win skins on the game. Skins, currency, you can win a whole bunch of stuff for Paragon by just hanging out in chat and watching the stream. That was one of the reasons why I streamed a bit on Twitch. But the other thing that I've started noticing is that as much as it pains me to admit is just like, even though I think YouTube is a better platform for streaming, the fact of the matter is that the the audience doesn't seem to be there, and it's very frustrating. It's like I'm doing the thing where I'm pretty consistent on YouTube, live streaming, doing that thing, growing the audience and whatnot. And the numbers that you pull on YouTube are just ridiculously inferior to Twitch. So my question is, because like I said at the start of this video, I asked you guys, those of you that watch the live stream, but please watch all the way because I wanted to ask you guys this question. It's like, where do you guys watch most of your streams? Those of you that do watch streams. You watch a lot of streams on YouTube? You watch most of your stuff on Twitch? Did you even know that I have a Twitch channel? I'm curious about knowing these, because recently I've heard that ENB himself just made a move to full-time Twitch, and I was like, oh, that's, yeah, dropping his channel like that and just making the move to specifically do stuff on Twitch was impressive. But then again, he has a massive audience, so he can kind of afford to do that kind of stuff. Whereas my channel, as we've discussed in the past, we're a more niche audience. We try to check out lots of stuff, lots of games, and ultimately, I'm not sure how that would gel on Twitch. I just don't know. But I am curious to know from you guys, my audience on YouTube, if you watch more live streams on Twitch or if you watch more live streams on YouTube, which one do you prefer and why? I'm curious. I'm legitimately curious, because to me, live streaming on YouTube or live streaming on Twitch is as easy as flipping a switch. It's like, it's a no-brainer. I'm also partnered on Twitch, even though partnered on Twitch doesn't mean a damn thing unless you have a sub button, which you don't have. But it's like, ultimately, like I've told you guys, my channel is not really should I put this? It is not a positive net worth from a point of revenue. So it doesn't really make a difference to me to go to Twitch or go to YouTube. It literally makes no difference. The one thing that I don't want to do is I don't want to stream to both. I've done in the past. I've done the whole dual streaming thing. And the reason I don't like it is because I'm the kind of guy that I like to interact with chat. And I know that some of you guys probably felt ignored because when I'm playing Paragon, I'm so focused and I can't like be looking at chat the whole time. But having two chats is too distracting. And I think it completely detracts from the experience. It's like, I'm neither paying attention to my Twitch audience, nor am I paying attention to my YouTube audience, which is unfair for both. So the dual streaming thing, I really don't want to go that route. I don't think that is fair for your audience. And I also don't think it's a viable way of doing it, because you're splitting your audience across two platforms and ultimately you're actually hurt. But I'm curious. I'm curious what you guys think about it. I'm curious if you guys think that I should do more Twitch stuff or if I should just stick to YouTube. I'm just curious. One thing is certain. I'm moving forward, like I've told you guys, I'm doing more streaming stuff than I am doing videos. This is a fact, because it's just time constraints with all the work that I'm doing over at TGN. And, you know, just like in between those time constraints and actually having to take care of my kid and all this other stuff, it's not easy to invest as much time as I used to channel. But yeah, I'm curious to know what you guys think, and I'm curious for you guys' feedback. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this Cons Cast update. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys over there at Anaheim. Thank you guys very much for watching. Comments, feedback, likes, subscribe if you're new, all that stuff. Thank you very much for watching again, and I'll see you in the next one.